What if the world around you, your job, your memories, your very body, was no more real than a vivid dream? Eastern sages have whispered this for millennia. Philosophers like Schopenhauer and Plato hinted at it. And now, even physics, yes, the hard science of particles and probabilities, flirts with the same idea. We're going to explore a haunting question. Is reality an illusion? From the dreamlike musings of Indian metaphysics to Kant's logic-bound distinctions to quantum entanglement and uncertainty, today we dive into where mind meets matter and illusion may be all there is. If this sounds trippy, that's because it is. But stay with me. We'll move through deep waters, from Schopenhauer's long dream theory to the Upanishadic fourth state of consciousness, and finally into the strange quantum dance of particles that refuse to settle down until observed. Arthur Schopenhauer once wrote, "The universe is a dream, dreamed by a single dreamer, where all the dream characters dream too." In his seminal work, The World as Will and Representation, Schopenhauer asked a simple but unsettling question: how can we be sure we're not dreaming right now? Immanuel Kant, ever the rationalist, rejected this. For him, what separates waking life from dream is causality, the strict law of cause and effect. In dreams, things happen randomly. In waking life, every effect has a cause. Every event follows a logical chain. But Schopenhauer pushed back. He argued that dreams and waking life both follow causal logic, just different kinds. What breaks is not causality itself, but the type of causal framework we're in. Think of it like two separate computer programs. Both follow internal rules, but they're not compatible. That doesn't make one real and the other not. It just makes them different. Schopenhauer's point is subtle but radical. We can't say waking life is more real than dreams simply because its rules are more consistent. That's like saying chess is more real than checkers because it's more complex. He suggests life is a long dream. Dreams are short dreams, and both are grounded in experience, just different branches of the same illusion. Long before Schopenhauer and Kant, the ancient rishis of India were already grappling with the nature of reality and came to a chillingly similar conclusion. According to the Upanishads, the material world is Maya, an illusion, a shimmering mirage draped over the eternal self, or Atman. The dream isn't just while you sleep. The dream is life itself, not inwardly cognitive, not outwardly cognitive, ungraspable, unseen. The essence of the self is the fourth state. This fourth state, Turiya, transcends waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It's a pure awareness behind all experience, a state where dualities dissolve, where you are no longer the dreamer or the dreamed, but the awareness behind both. The Vedas even speak of knowledge itself as part of the illusion, a web, they say, woven from the mind. And this is echoed again and again across Eastern traditions. The Buddhist doctrine of sunyata, emptiness. The Taoist notion that the 10,000 things are just ripples on the surface of a vast, formless Tao. So when Schopenhauer drew from these ideas, he wasn't speculating in isolation. He was tapping into a perennial philosophy, that what we call reality is not the final layer, it's the mask, and what lies beneath is formless. You might think quantum physics is all cold logic and precise measurements, but at its core, it's stranger than any dream. In the quantum world, particles don't exist as solid things until they're observed. Until then, they remain probabilities, waves of potential. Only when measured do they collapse into a definite state. Think about that. Nothing is fixed until you look at it. Sound familiar? The observer doesn't just witness reality, they participate in creating it. This has eerie echoes of Eastern philosophy. The Upanishads say consciousness gives rise to the world. Quantum theory says the act of observation gives rise to particles. Even Einstein, uncomfortable with this fuzziness, famously asked, "Do you really believe the moon isn't there if you're not looking at it?" Yet, quantum mechanics suggests exactly that kind of unreality. Particles can be entangled, linked across space and time, so that changing one instantly affects the other, regardless of distance. It's as if the universe itself doesn't play by the rules of space, time, or classical logic. What if, just like in a dream, the objects around you don't exist in the way you think? What if they're just snapshots in consciousness, held together by a deeper mystery? Suddenly, the lines between dream and waking life don't feel so rigid. Even science begins to hint at something far more fluid and far more illusory. Kant drew a line in the sand. For him, causality, the orderly sequence of events, is what makes reality real. In dreams, this sequence breaks. Things happen without reason. The laws of physics bend. That, he claimed, is how we know we're awake. But Schopenhauer saw it differently. He argued that dreams do follow causal chains, just different ones. Each dream has its own inner logic. You might be flying or speaking fluent dolphin, but inside that dream, events still link together, cause to effect. So what really separates waking life from dreams? Not the presence of causality, but the type of causal framework we're in. Imagine reality as a layered book. Each chapter is self-consistent, but there's no rule that says one chapter is more real than another. Waking life may be a longer, denser chapter, dreams a short, surreal one, but both are narratives held together by a kind of inner glue, what Schopenhauer called the principle of sufficient reason. And here's the unsettling twist. If we can't step outside the book and compare chapters from a truly objective view, how can we ever say which one is real? Maybe reality is just the dream we return to most consistently. Maybe dreams are just alternate frames within the same reel of film. Causality becomes not a test of reality, but a fingerprint of the mode we're in. Strip away matter, strip away time, space, even causality. What's left? Consciousness. It's the one thing we can't escape, and the one thing we can't fully explain. Whether you're dreaming, daydreaming, or staring at your morning coffee, consciousness is the canvas behind every experience. You may question the world, but can you question the awareness that's questioning? Schopenhauer, like the sages of the East, saw this clearly. He believed that at the core of all experience lies the will, an inner, blind force that animates all things. But beyond even the will lies something deeper, a witnessing awareness, one not bound by time or death. And Eastern traditions echo this powerfully. In Advaita Vedanta, Atman, the true self, is not the body, not the mind, not even the ego. It is pure awareness, the same awareness behind your eyes and behind mine. When the seer sees no difference, that is the highest state, says the Upanishad. Dream and reality may differ in content, but not in their container. The contents change, flicker, collapse, regenerate. But awareness, it's constant, and that's the wildest idea of all. If consciousness is the constant and all else changes, then maybe consciousness itself is the only real thing, and the rest, just passing scenes in an infinite theater. So, what does it mean to wake up? We wake from a dream, and we call it unreal, but who's to say we aren't still dreaming, just more consistently? Plato once wrote that most people live as if in a dream. Only the philosopher, he said, seeks to truly awaken, to see beyond appearances into what is real. In the Upanishads, this is called Turiya, the fourth state. It's not waking, dreaming, or deep sleep. It is awareness of awareness. The moment you realize the screen, not just the movie. Even the Bhagavad Gita tells us that which is night to all beings, the self-controlled one is awake in that. The truth. We may be like characters in a lucid dream who suspect they are dreaming, but don't know how to exit. Schopenhauer calls life a long dream, dreams short dreams. But the distinction is thin. Both have form, story, causality, and both end. And here's the kicker. If life and dream are made of the same fabric, just stitched with different threads, then who are you really? Are you the dreamer, or the dream, or something deeper still? So, what is reality? A dream within a dream, a simulation, a manifestation of pure consciousness? Maybe there is no final answer. Maybe, as Schopenhauer suggested, we're just passengers on a river of appearances, some longer, some shorter, but all flowing from the same unknowable source. Whether it's a waking moment or a fleeting dream, all experience happens in consciousness. And if we can't prove we're not dreaming, maybe the question is no longer what is real, but rather what is awareness? So tell me, do you think reality is the true waking world? Or are we still inside some beautifully elaborate dream? Let me know in the comments. I read everyone. Give this video a like if it made you think differently, and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, consciousness, and the nature of existence. Until next time, keep questioning, keep waking up.